This podcast is for professional voice teachers to answer the question, how do I grow my teaching business and even break out of that one-on-one lesson model so that I can reach and teach who I want whenever I want. I'm your host, Allie Tyler, voice teacher of over a decade and marketing and business coach for fellow voice teachers. Welcome to the Voicepreneur Podcast. Hello, lovely voice teacher. Welcome to another episode of the Voicepreneur Podcast. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I am so excited and delighted that you clicked on this episode, my friend. And I know that you may not feel super excited and delighted as you are clicking on that episode. If you are clicking on this episode and you are feeling a low in your business right now, I am so happy that you're here. I'm seriously so happy that you're here because I feel like we need to talk about this. We need to normalize that every business is going to have ebbs and flows. Every business is going to have income dips. Every human and every business and every living, breathing thing, and I totally believe that your business is a living, breathing thing, is going to experience seasons. That is okay. That is totally normal. So actually, that's where I want to start. I first just want to start by giving you a big hug. And I know that I feel really chipper right now, and I am really chipper right now. And the reason why I'm so chipper right now is because I am coming out of a low season of my life. And that's why I feel so excited to talk about this topic. I never want to talk about things when I'm in them, right? I always want to teach and come from a place of experiencing the wholeness of it prior to teaching and talking about it. And so this episode was super inspired by you all, as it always is, because so many of us right now are experiencing the ebbs and flows of business. And shout out to you if you are really experiencing that low right now, because you're in it, my friend. You are in it. This is what business is all about. Business is all about playing the game. Now, I want to be very clear about this because this is not about winning the game. And I think that we think that as business owners, we need to win some game, right? We've heard that business is a game before, but this is not about winning and losing. You are always a winner. You are a winner by playing the game over and over for years. Years and years. I mean, you are going to be the judge of that, however long you want to play the game, but it's just about playing the game. Now, I want to pause real quick before we get into this because this thought is coming to mind and I feel like it's really important to talk about. It is okay to stop playing the game. It is okay to quote unquote quit. It is okay to pivot. It is okay to change your mind about running a teaching business, about being a private voice teacher. It is okay. It is totally normal for that to happen. No one said that you needed to, sign this contract that said, I have to be a business owner, even though I really don't think that I am. Nobody is forcing you to be a business owner. So please, first and foremost, come back to your intuition and connect with yourself and just have that conversation to make sure that this is still in alignment for you and what you ultimately want to experience in your life. Now, if you are a business owner, you feel like a business owner, you want to play this game, you know and can see how your business is ultimately going to help and support your ideal life, then this is so important to know. It is so important to know that businesses go through seasons, that you are going to experience income dips, and your job is to keep going. That's it. I know it's so hard. I know it's so hard. Oh my gosh. I'm with you, my friend. I can just visualize all the times in my life in this business journey. And I've been doing this for almost a decade. So many times when I just wanted to throw in the towel. So many times. I get it. I totally get it. This thing is freaking hard. It is so hard. It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous how hard it is to run a business. But here's a couple of things. Number one, I think that we make it harder than it needs to be. And number two, we just need to have the right mindset and the right plan. And so that is actually the very first thing that I would advise you to do is number one, have a game plan. If you are playing this game, if you know that this is a game, then you need to have a strategy, right? You need to have a plan. You need to know what you're going to do when shit hits the fan. You need to have a backup plan. And I've mentioned this in previous podcasts, but this is really where it's going to be so important for you to know how to creatively make money. This is so fun to think about because now we can get a little bit outside of the box of voice teaching for a hot sec. And, sometimes we get on these, I think about them as seesaws a lot. We get on these seesaws where, we're in these seasons where we're taking on a ton of clients. And then we're in another season where we're taking on, other types of work that aren't necessarily clients. That could be passive income work. That could be something that's totally not related to voice teaching. And all of these things are going to be kind of teeter-tottering in our life, right? So let me give you an example of this actually in my personal life right now. And some of you know this and some of you don't, but here's a little fun fact about Allie. My husband and I are real estate investors. And that sounds very weird for me to say because I do none of the work. I am not actually a real estate investor in the analysis part. That is completely my husband, Tyler, who does all of that work. And I help with the decision making. I go to the properties and I help kind of ensure that this vision really is something worth investing in. And it is so interesting because what's happening in our life right now is we are constantly thinking about how can we leverage what we already have to make more? And how can we leverage this so that that can make us more, right? It's just kind of this I don't even know, it's like a whack-a-mole. It's like a whack-a-mole game. And something that we had to come to terms with in the last couple of months is that currently right now, we're making enough, but we're spending a lot. And that is contributed by our house because we bought a new house about a year and a half ago, and the mortgage is definitely a bit more than what we're used to paying, and a few other things, making big investments, etc. So what do? We go, well, this is part of running a business. It's part of taking risks, taking calculated risks, right? Everything that we do in business is about taking calculated risks. And part of taking risks is knowing that you're going to be going through seasons where, oh boy, we're spending a little bit more than we're making. Okay, good to know. What do? Let's get creative now, right? So what we decided when we had this realization is that we're just going to rent our house out. We're going to rent our very large, very beautiful house setup that we have here in Colorado in the mountains. It's totally something that would do really well on Airbnb. And yes, we're going to have to move out with our toddler and we're going to have to go somewhere else for a little bit. And we're figuring out how to do that. Thankfully, we do have a camper van. And we used to live in our camper van for many, many months. So that's probably what we're going to be doing over the summer. But really what we're doing is we're just thinking outside of the box about how can we make this work? How can we save a little bit of money so that we can go and experience a really awesome summer together and be able to still pay our mortgage and not feel bad about it, right? All I'm saying when I tell you this story is that you have to have a plan and you want to get creative with other ways that you can make money. It is okay. It's part of the long game vision. You're not always going to be making the same money from the same thing for the rest of your life. And if you do, that's awesome. Kudos to you, but I have no idea what that's like. And I think a lot of us don't either. So that is what I would say about having a game plan. And we could talk ad nauseum about this, but it's something to really think about to really calm your nervous system down when you are feeling those low income dips. The second thing is exactly that, to know in your heart of hearts that this is a season. And part of really recognizing the seasons is recognizing that each season matters. We need all 4 seasons. And this is actually what kicked me out of California. I'm a California girl. I was born and raised there. I lived there for 25 years before I moved to Colorado. And one of the things that I really hated about California was I was like, are there seasons here? I don't understand. I don't get why people love spring and they love fall. We have basically just sunshine and rain and that's it over there. So I was desperate to experience the juice that comes from seasons. And let me tell you, after coming out of this low winter season, oh man, you guys, it's been a rough season. And we will talk about that on another episode for sure. But this was probably one of the lowest winters I've ever had. It taught me so much. I'm barely coming through it. We're in the spring season right now, and I'm already getting glimpses of these profound lessons that I learned this winter season. I needed that winter. We all need winter, right? And think about how winter works. We plant a seed and it takes its sweet, sweet time to grow. And just as you think that there is no spring coming, that there's just no way that plants are actually going to grow. It's just been brown for so long, at least in my world, they actually bloom. They legitimately come to life every dang year. And every plant needs that winter time. So when you think about your business like this, you can really take a step back and go, I am getting really fixated on the fact that no one's signing up. No one is joining my private studio. No one's commenting on my posts. No one's engaging with me. I feel like I'm putting all this work in and nothing is happening, right? Trust me, I get it. But you know what? They're watching. And what people are watching for is whether or not you're going to stay in the game. If you base your entire business on those lows, those times when nothing is happening, and you think to yourself, well, there's no point in doing this. Nobody understands. Nobody wants this. I just don't know why I'm even putting all this effort in. You are not playing the game, my friend. That is not the game. That is the game's very sneaky way of trying to kick you out of the game. And the game is actually keep going. Keep going. Know that is the winter. That yes, there are going to 100% be times in your business where you feel like you are doing all this freaking work and nothing is happening. And if you stay consistent, that is how you are going to see the fruit of your labor. You gotta wait for spring, my friend. Spring might take a little bit longer than our actual calendar that we made up, and that is okay too. This is something that I really feel so strongly about, especially in the beginning stages of business, because in the beginning stages of business, if you are in the first couple years, let's say 1 to 3 years of starting your business, your teaching business, or really kind of amping it up, right? Like up-leveling it, this is the most trying time, my friend. And you can do it. You can do it because it's all about shifting your mindset. And when you shift your mindset to be less about data and more about consistency, that's all you need to keep going. Now, I don't mean to completely ignore the data. The data is very important. You want to look at your stats. You want to know what content is doing well and isn't doing well and all of that stuff. But the number of followers you have, the number of likes, the number of comments, that does not matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is you are building the muscle of consistency. You are building your muscles just like you do at the gym. We don't go to the gym and then do a bunch of reps and then think, God, you know what? Just not seeing any results, so I'm just going to give up and maybe that's the route. No, that's not what we do. We go, I'm committed to this. I am going to keep doing this over and over and over and over and over. And then, man, it's boring. Man, no one's really like appreciating this. Nobody is complimenting me, but I'm just going to keep doing my reps. I'm going to keep doing my reps because not only am I going to see results, but the more I do it, the easier it gets and the better I feel. And then it becomes a habit, and then it's part of my routine, and then I don't even think twice about it. And all I'm experiencing is the compound effect. Ooh, I love the compound effect. It is so awesome when you actually understand what it really means. And if you don't, go and check out the book, The Compound Effect. It is awesome. Really, all it means is that you are showing up consistently over time, and then over time, everything starts to double. And suddenly, you are looking at magnificent results. But the key is consistency. It's consistency. So no matter what happens, my friend, even in those seasons when you aren't getting as many students, in those seasons when you aren't seeing as many followers or people joining your programs, or just those dips, those ebbs, right? Just remember that this is a game of consistency, and all you got to do is stay in the game. That's it. Keep staying in the game. Get creative with how you make money in other ways if you need to. Have a backup plan, and you got this. It is okay. Everyone goes through this. I am with you 100%. I go through it myself. It is part of the business game for everybody. And welcome to the club, my friend. You are officially a badass business owner. If you actually do want to join a little club of us, then come and join us inside of the Voicepreneur program, because this is really where you will feel a sense of belongingness. You will know that you're not alone. You're going to hear other voice teachers and all of the things that they share about in their businesses, which is so inspiring. OMG, so inspiring. My goodness, people are just so creative with the things that they do with their businesses. And I created this community so that you really did feel this, so that you felt inspired and you felt a sense of belonging, because I didn't have that for so long. I never had that, actually. Never had it in my entire business journey. And that's where the Voicepreneur came from. So I want to help you feel this way. You deserve to feel this way. It is not easy to run a business, and let's do it together. So come and join us inside of the program and DM me on Instagram if you have any questions about it. And hey, you always get free content here at the Voicepreneur Podcast so that you never feel alone when you are working on your business. Self-paced, I see you out there doing all that work. You are awesome. If you do feel like you have great takeaways from this podcast, it would mean so much to me and to us here at the team if you would go ahead and rate and review it over on Apple Podcast. And if you have voice teacher friends who may enjoy this podcast or this particular episode, feel free to share it over on your Instagram stories or share it with 3 of your besties and text them this link. I can't wait to hear how this episode resonated with you, and just know that I'm giving you a virtual hug and you are not alone, my friend. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.